What if I told you that everything you've been doing to lose weight, the dieting, the gym, the calorie counting, is actually making it worse? I'm Dr. Zoe Bennett, and today I'm exposing the real reason women over 35 cannot lose weight, and it has nothing to do with willpower. I want you to think about someone for a moment. Maybe it's your neighbor, maybe it's your sister, maybe, and I think this is why you clicked on this video, maybe it's you. She wakes up every morning with the best intentions. She watches what she eats. She goes to the gym 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week. She drinks her water. She counts her calories. She does everything the magazines tell her to do, everything her doctor tells her to do. And yet, the scale keeps going up. Her clothes keep getting tighter, and nobody can tell her why. I see this woman in my office every single week. She sits across from me, exhausted, frustrated, and honestly, a little ashamed. Like somehow this is her fault, like she just isn't trying hard enough. And the first thing I tell every single one of them is the same thing I'm going to tell you right now. You are not lazy. You are not broken. And this is absolutely 100% not your fault. What is happening to your body after 35 is not a personal failure. It is a biological shift. A complex, powerful, and largely misunderstood change that the diet industry has been completely ignoring for decades. And today, I'm going to explain exactly what is happening inside your body, why everything you've been told is wrong, and what actually works. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand your own body better than most doctors will ever explain to you. So what is the hidden cause? What is this thing that nobody is talking about? I'm going to give you 3 words that are going to change the way you think about your body forever. Perimenopause, cortisol, insulin resistance. These 3 things are working together, silently, invisibly, to hijack your metabolism. And the terrifying part? Most women have no idea any of this is happening to them. Let's start with perimenopause because this is the one that shocks almost every patient I see. When most women hear the word menopause, they think of a woman in her early 50s having hot flashes. But here is what your doctor may have never told you. Perimenopause. The hormonal transition that leads to menopause can begin as early as your mid-30s. That's right. You could be 35, 36, 37 years old, feeling completely normal in most ways, and your hormones have already quietly started to shift. Estrogen is the hormone most people associate with reproduction. But what most people don't know is that estrogen also plays a critical role in how your body stores and burns fat. When estrogen levels begin to drop, even slightly, even gradually, your body starts to redistribute fat. It moves fat away from the hips and thighs, where women traditionally carry weight, and starts depositing it in the abdomen. This is why so many women in their late 30s suddenly notice belly fat that was never there before. It's not because they stopped caring, it's because their estrogen started shifting. And no amount of crunches is going to fix a hormonal problem. Now let's talk about cortisol because this one is affecting almost every woman living in the modern world, and almost no one is connecting it to weight gain. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It's produced by your adrenal glands in response to stress, physical stress, emotional stress, mental stress. And when cortisol is chronically elevated, meaning when you are constantly in a low-grade state of stress, your body does something very specific. It stores fat, especially in the belly. This is an ancient survival mechanism. Your body thinks you are in danger, so it hoards energy in the most accessible place it can, right around your midsection. Now think about the life of a woman over 35. She may be managing a career, raising children, caring for aging parents, maintaining relationships, running a household, sleeping too little, and carrying a mental load that never fully switches off. Her body is producing cortisol around the clock, and every day that cortisol stays elevated, her body is sending out one clear signal: store fat, conserve energy, do not let go of those reserves. So she eats less, and her cortisol goes up more, because dieting is a physical stressor. She exercises harder, and her cortisol goes up more because overtraining is a physical stressor. She is literally fighting her own biology and wondering why she keeps losing. The third piece of this puzzle is insulin resistance, and this one is perhaps the most overlooked of all. Insulin is the hormone that your pancreas produces to help your cells absorb sugar from your bloodstream. When your body is young and your hormones are balanced, this system works beautifully. But as estrogen declines and cortisol rises, your cells gradually become less responsive to insulin's signal. They stop opening the door when insulin knocks, so your body produces more and more insulin trying to get the job done. And here's the critical thing you need to understand. High insulin levels tell your body to store fat and to stop burning it. It is biochemically impossible to burn body fat efficiently when your insulin is chronically elevated. This is why so many women over 35 say, "I eat healthy, I eat clean, I barely eat anything, and I still gain weight." It's not the quantity of food that's the problem. It's the hormonal environment in which that food is being processed. A bowl of oatmeal that was completely fine for your body at 28 may be spiking your insulin in a way that drives fat storage at 38. Your body has changed. The rules have changed. And nobody sent you the memo. This brings me to something I feel very strongly about, and I want you to really hear this. The conventional weight loss advice that we have all been following for decades. Eat less, move more, count your calories, do your cardio, was not designed for the body of a woman over 35. It was designed for a young, hormonally balanced metabolism. And when you apply that advice to a perimenopausal body dealing with elevated cortisol and developing insulin resistance, you don't just fail to lose weight. You can actually make things significantly worse. Let me explain why. When you dramatically cut your calories, and I mean dropping below what your body needs to function, you trigger a stress response. Your body sees a food shortage as a threat to survival. Cortisol goes up. Metabolism slows down. Muscle tissue begins to break down for energy. And muscle is your most metabolically active tissue. It's what burns calories even while you're resting. So every time you crash diet, you lose muscle, you slow your metabolism, you raise your cortisol, and you make it harder to lose weight the next time. This is why yo-yo dieting is so devastating for women over 35. Each cycle leaves you in a worse hormonal position than before. And what about cardio? I know this might be hard to hear, but hours of steady-state cardio, long runs, endless sessions on the elliptical, can actually be counterproductive for women in this hormonal stage. Here's why. Prolonged moderate intensity cardio is a cortisol-generating activity. It's a physical stressor. Done in moderation, it's fine, even beneficial. But when a stressed, sleep-deprived, hormonally shifting woman spends 90 minutes on a treadmill every day, she is pouring more fuel on the cortisol fire. And as we just discussed, high cortisol means more belly fat storage. She's working harder and getting the exact opposite of what she wants. What about low-fat diets? For decades, we were told that fat makes you fat. So we cut out the butter, we switched to skim milk, we ate low-fat yogurt, we avoided avocados and eggs and nuts. And here's the problem with that for women over 35. Your body needs dietary fat to produce hormones. Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, these are all made from cholesterol. When you eliminate healthy fats from your diet, you are removing one of the key raw materials your body needs to balance its hormones. A low-fat diet for a woman in perimenopause is like trying to build a house with no lumber. The foundation crumbles. And the hormonal chaos that follows drives more weight gain, more fatigue, more cravings, and more frustration. Skipping meals is another piece of conventional wisdom that backfires badly for this group of women. When you skip breakfast or push through the morning on nothing but coffee, your blood sugar drops, cortisol rises to compensate, and by midday your body is in full-blown stress and conservation mode. You end up ravenous, insulin spikes when you finally eat, and your body stores more of that meal as fat than it normally would. It feels like discipline. It is actually hormonal disruption. The diet and fitness industry was not built around the biology of the perimenopausal woman. It was built around the metabolism of a younger person, and quite frankly, historically, around men. The research, the programs, the products, most of it was not designed with you in mind. And that is not a reason to feel hopeless. That is a reason to feel informed, because now you know what they didn't tell you, and that changes everything. I want to take a few minutes to go a little deeper into what's actually happening inside your body, because I find that when my patients truly understand the science, they stop blaming themselves and start making real changes. So let me walk you through the key biological shifts that happen in the body of a woman over 35. First, let's revisit estrogen, specifically what happens when it starts to fluctuate. In perimenopause, estrogen doesn't just gradually and smoothly decline. It fluctuates wildly. Some days it spikes high, some days it crashes low, and this volatility plays havoc with your mood, your sleep, your appetite, and your metabolism. One of the things estrogen does is enhance your body's sensitivity to insulin. When estrogen is high, your body handles blood sugar more efficiently. As estrogen starts to fluctuate and eventually decline, insulin sensitivity decreases. This is a direct pathway from hormonal change to insulin resistance, and it happens independently of diet and exercise. Second, let's talk about progesterone, which doesn't get nearly enough attention. Progesterone is a calming, sleep-promoting hormone that balances estrogen. In perimenopause, progesterone often drops before estrogen does. When progesterone falls, you lose its calming influence. Sleep becomes disrupted, anxiety increases, and estrogen can feel relatively dominant even as it declines overall. Poor sleep alone is enough to cause significant metabolic disruption. Studies consistently show that even a few nights of inadequate sleep increases hunger hormones, decreases the hormone that signals fullness, increases cortisol, and impairs insulin sensitivity. Sleep is not a luxury. For the perimenopausal woman, adequate sleep is a metabolic necessity. Third, let's talk about the thyroid. The thyroid gland regulates your metabolic rate, essentially how fast or slow your engine runs. Thyroid problems are significantly more common in women than men, and they become more common after 35. A sluggishly functioning thyroid can cause weight gain, fatigue, brain fog, hair loss, cold sensitivity, and constipation. All symptoms that are frequently written off as just stress or just aging. Here's what's critically important. Standard thyroid testing, the basic TSH test that most doctors run, often misses early or subclinical thyroid dysfunction. A full thyroid panel, including free T3, free T4, and thyroid antibodies, gives a far more complete picture. I cannot tell you how many patients have come to me having been told their thyroid is normal. And when we run the full panel, we find significant imbalances that have been driving their symptoms for years. And finally, the gut. Your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your digestive tract, plays a surprisingly powerful role in hormone metabolism. Certain gut bacteria are responsible for processing and eliminating excess estrogens from the body. When the gut microbiome is imbalanced, estrogen can be reabsorbed rather than eliminated, creating a disrupted hormonal environment. The health of your gut affects your hormones, your metabolism, your immune system, and your mental health. And yet most conventional weight loss programs completely ignore it. I want to say one more time, clearly and directly, none of this is happening because of something you did wrong. This is biology. This is a complex, multi-system shift that happens in virtually every woman's body as she moves through her 30s and 40s. The problem has never been your willpower. The problem has been that nobody ever explained this to you. So now that you understand what is really happening, what do you do about it? I'm going to give you 5 evidence-based strategies that I use with my patients to support hormonal health, restore metabolic balance, and achieve sustainable weight management after 35. These are not quick fixes. They are not fad diets. They are real changes, grounded in real science that work with your biology instead of against it. The first strategy is to eat in a way that supports your hormones, not just restricts your calories. This means prioritizing healthy fats, avocado, olive oil, fatty fish, nuts, seeds, because your body needs these to produce hormones. It means eating phytoestrogens, found in foods like flaxseed, lentils, and organic soy, which can gently support estrogen balance during the transition. It means building every meal around protein and fiber to stabilize blood sugar and keep insulin levels steady. And it means letting go of the low-fat, low-calorie mentality that has been making things worse. Focus on nourishing your hormones, and your metabolism will follow. The second strategy is resistance training. If there is one change I could ask every woman over 35 to make, it would be to start lifting weights. Muscle is metabolically expensive tissue. It burns calories even while you're at rest. Building and maintaining muscle mass is one of the most powerful things you can do to keep your metabolism strong as hormones shift. Resistance training also improves insulin sensitivity directly. It helps your cells respond better to insulin without any medication. Aim for 2 to 3 sessions of weight training per week. You do not need to become a bodybuilder. You need to preserve and build functional muscle. It will change your body composition, your energy, your bone density, and your metabolic health in ways that no amount of cardio can match. The third strategy is to treat sleep as medicine. I know you've heard this before, but I need you to hear it in this context. Every hour of sleep you lose is an hour your cortisol rises, your hunger hormones increase, your insulin sensitivity decreases, and your body is signaled to store fat. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is not laziness. For the perimenopausal woman, it is one of the most powerful metabolic interventions available. Create a sleep routine. Cool your room. Limit screens before bed. Address night sweats or sleep disruptions with your doctor. Protect your sleep like it is medicine. Because for your metabolism, it is. The fourth strategy is active cortisol management. This is not about eliminating stress. That's not realistic. This is about giving your nervous system regular opportunities to down-regulate, to shift out of fight or flight and into rest and repair mode. This might look like 10 minutes of deep breathing daily. It might look like walking in nature, yoga, meditation, or simply sitting quietly without your phone. Whatever it looks like for you, the biological goal is the same. Lower cortisol, signal safety to your body, and unlock its willingness to let go of stored fat. The fifth strategy, and this is non-negotiable, is to get the right blood tests. Not just a standard annual panel, but the specific tests that reveal your hormonal picture. Ask your doctor for estradiol, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, a full thyroid panel including free T3 and free T4, and thyroid antibodies, fasting insulin, and a hemoglobin A1C. These numbers tell the real story of what is happening in your body. If your doctor dismisses your concerns, advocate for yourself. Seek a second opinion. Find a physician who practices integrative or functional medicine. You deserve answers, not dismissal. I want to share a few stories from women I've worked with. Details change to protect their privacy, because sometimes you need to hear that this is real, that this is possible, that women just like you have come out the other side of this feeling better than they have in years. Sarah came to me at 41, completely defeated. She had gained 22 pounds over 3 years despite training for a half marathon. She was eating 1,200 calories a day and could not understand why she kept gaining. When we ran her full panel, her fasting insulin was dangerously high. Her thyroid antibodies were elevated and her cortisol pattern was completely dysregulated. We stopped the extreme calorie restriction, changed her exercise to strength training 3 times a week, addressed her thyroid, and focused on sleep and stress. In 8 months, she lost 17 pounds without ever counting a single calorie again. Maria was 38 and convinced she just had bad genetics. Her mother had struggled with her weight, her grandmother had too, and she had accepted it as inevitable. What we found was severely disrupted sleep due to early perimenopausal night sweats, estrogen fluctuations driving intense sugar cravings, and gut health issues affecting her hormone metabolism. Once we address those root causes, with dietary changes, targeted supplementation, and hormone support (ARS), she described feeling like she had gotten her body back. The genetics were not her destiny, the hormonal environment was. Claire was 44 and running her own business, working 60-hour weeks, sleeping 5 hours a night, and wondering why she looked puffy and exhausted. Her cortisol levels told the whole story. Her body was in a permanent state of red alert. It wasn't storing fat because she was eating too much. It was storing fat because it was trying to survive. When we helped Claire build protective structures around her sleep and recovery and reduce the exercise she was doing from intense daily workouts to moderate training 3 times a week, her body finally felt safe enough to let go. She lost 11 pounds in 3 months without changing her diet significantly. These women are not extraordinary. They are every woman. They just finally got the right information. So let's bring it all together. The hidden cause of weight gain in women over 35 is not calories. It is not discipline. It is not genetics. It is a 3-part hormonal shift. The beginning of perimenopause causing metabolic and fat storage changes, chronically elevated cortisol keeping your body in fat-storing survival mode, and developing insulin resistance preventing your body from efficiently burning fuel. When these 3 things combine, and they very often do, conventional diet and exercise advice doesn't just fail to work. It can actively make things worse. But now you know, and knowing is everything. You know that your body is not betraying you. It is adapting to a biological transition that it was always designed to go through. You know that the solution is not to eat less and punish yourself more. The solution is to work with your hormones, to nourish them, protect them, and support the systems that regulate them. You know to ask for the right tests. You know to prioritize sleep. You know to lift weights. You know to manage your stress not as self-indulgence but as medical treatment. If this video resonated with you, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below telling me which part of this hit closest to home. Was it the cortisol piece? The insulin resistance? The realization that your calorie restriction might be working against you? Your story matters, and so does every woman who might see your comment and realize she is not alone. If you want to go deeper, subscribe to this channel because every week I bring you real, evidence-based women's health information that your doctor's 15-minute appointment doesn't have time to cover. And share this video with a woman in your life who is struggling because she deserves to understand her body too. I'm Dr. Zoe Bennett. Your body is not betraying you. It is asking for something different. And now, you know what that is. Take care of yourself. You deserve it.